Are you a talented footballer with the potential to go all of the way, but you've never been spotted or had a trial? Well, all you need to do is check out a brand new innovative business that I've started with my partners called Scout's Eyes. It gives you a chance to get spotted by our network of scouts to try and get you a trial at a professional club. Scout's Eyes places you in front of a professional scout who will assess your talent. You simply need to visit our website right now and upload your clips as directed. Our scouts will then view them and give you a full assessment. If you meet a certain criteria, your details will be sent to scouts at professional football clubs for them to come and see you play. It's as simple as that. So visit scoutseyes.com right now and send in your clips, and a scout could be coming to watch you play at your next game. AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that will be linked with a transfer move to Arsenal. Hi and welcome on to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. First of all, before we get into it, just a reminder, if you use the code SE50, that gets you 50% off Scout's Eyes. Scout's Eyes, of course, the brand new website where you can upload your content of you playing football and get yourself spotted by a scout and, you never know, trial at a professional football club. That's the aim, right? If you're good enough. So if you are, make sure you upload there. Even if you don't quite make it, they give you a full assessment as well of how you're playing, what to improve on, etc. So a really, really good site. Make sure you check it out. Lots of news happening, especially yesterday. Gabriel signing a new contract at Arsenal. That was good news to see that Gabriel had signed on. I was getting worried about this situation. The Saudis were coming for him. I'd heard that in January they were definitely going to come in big for him in the summer, hence why this one was probably done pretty quickly in the summer. But he signed on for a brand new deal, and that's great to see. One of the best defenders in the league and a really, really important player for us. Remember, we've had the best defence in the league for the last 2 seasons, and he's been a big part of that combination of him and Saliba. So very, very important that he signed on. Jorginho has exited early. We know that he left the club, but Arsenal cancelled his contract early. That enables him to play in the Club World Cup for Flamengo. So good luck to Jorginho. That one came out this morning that he's officially left the club. So good luck to Jorginho in the Club World Cup. Yesterday, Big Ange. I know it's got nothing to do with us, but Big Ange getting the sack at Spurs. Now, according to Spurs, he's had such a wonderful, they've had such a wonderful season. But you know what happened to them? Reality hit. They realised that, that little trophy they won papered over the cracks of 22 losses in the league and how dreadful they were. And when they thought about next season, this is what you say to your Spurs fans or, your mates when they come up to you and say they had a better season. When they started to really think about the reality of it, they didn't have a good season. They had a woeful season, and they're going to have another one if they don't get rid of him. That's the reality of it, right? So these little comparisons they want to do, it just don't wash with me. Anyway, enough of them, because it's about us having a really good season next year and trying to win the league. And I think universally, every Arsenal fan would like to see us sign a striker. That is top of the list. Even when we're getting linked with Zubimendi and things like that, we all recognise great signing. If that comes off, that'll be a magnificent signing. But what about the striker? That's where we're at. We want to see that as the top priority. And it does look like Arsenal are treating it as a priority. And it looks like Benjamin Sesko has got the vote of all the hierarchy at Arsenal. Arteta, Andrea Berta, that's the guy it looks like they're going for. Sky Germany claiming that Arsenal have now made a formal approach for Sesko, and a bid will be following. Said to be anything from around about 60 to 70 million pounds to get this deal done. There was also a tweet that I saw from Fabrizio Romano. Let me see if I can just dig it up quickly here, where he said, understand that Arsenal are now advancing in negotiations for Benjamin Sesko after initial concrete talks were reported last week. Discussions underway and proceeding well between all parties involved, players and clubs. No agreement yet now or expected this weekend, but advancing. This is getting very close now. The player wants to come to Arsenal. It's about agreeing the fee now. And even, which was very significant, Slovenia played yesterday. They played against Luxembourg, won 1-0. And he was left out of the squad, Benjamin Sesko. Now, according to the rumours, Leipzig informed Slovenia that, this deal is starting to go through and they don't want any risk of injury whatsoever. So that apparently was the reason why he was left out of that squad yesterday. Not even in the squad. Remember, he's their main player, their number one player, and it was a very important World Cup qualifier, but he was still left out of the squad. It looks like this is happening, that Benjamin Sesko is going to be the player coming to Arsenal, not Victor Gyökeres. You're starting to hear less and less about Gyökeres coming to Arsenal, and it looks like it's going to be Sesko. What will he bring to the team? Only time will tell. But listen, he scored a decent amount of goals last season. He scored those in the Bundesliga. I think they're doing all these sort of comparisons. They're looking at it and thinking, all right, Victor Gyökeres, brilliant. But a lot of those goals have been in the Portuguese league. A lot easier to score those in that league than it is in the Bundesliga. Sesko is younger. His profile seems to fit what Arsenal want. He's also good in the air, 6'4", so a real, handful, and lightning quick. And as I said, still only 22, whereas Gyökeres turned 27 last week. It's looking like it is going to be Benjamin Sesko that's going to be the signing of a striker this season. What do you think? Well, I've been asking you guys constantly. Let me know in the comments if this is the person you want, or are you just happy that we're getting in a top striker? Listen, there's a lot of clubs right around Europe who would like the services of Benjamin Sesko. Arsenal have been working on this one for quite a long time. They've been doing their analysis on him for ages now. It looks like they may be getting their man, but of course, not done yet. The other player that seems to be right at the top of the list is, of course, Rodrygo. Sky Sports still reporting that he's the number one target for that left wing position for Arsenal this summer. Now, for me, Sesko, Rodrygo, Zubimendi, that starts to look like a good window to me. I start to like the look of that. A striker, a real top left winger, and a top midfielder in Zubimendi, who looked great the other night when I watched him playing for Spain. Sky Sports, as I said, going big with this one. The Arsenal are treating Rodrygo as their number one target in that position. He also didn't play for Brazil. Yesterday, Brazil, they had a World Cup qualifier as well against Ecuador. They drew 0-0. Was that significant? Ancelotti, now the manager, who used to manage him when he was, at Real Madrid. Now, apparently it's because he's been nursing a slight injury. That's why he was left out of the squad. But I'll tell you what could be really significant with Rodrygo, because the rumours are, there's been some rumours saying that he doesn't want to leave Real Madrid. Why would you want to leave Real Madrid? They're such a great side. But there's also other rumours saying that if he's not going to be starting, he is definitely interested in them moving. And I think what's going to be quite significant this summer in a lot of signings for players that are internationals is that World Cup coming up in America, Canada, and Mexico at the end of the season. Especially for Brazilian players, they love playing for their country. That is, there's no sort of debate about club over country when it comes to Brazilian players. It's Brazil first for them. Rodrygo will want to get into that Brazil squad. He'll want to be playing for Brazil in that World Cup next year over there in North America. And if you're not playing, you could get left out. And as I said, he's been left out of this squad, said to be an injury, but That will be playing on his mind. And that could be the sort of thing that means that he does decide to move on. Playing regularly. At Real Madrid, he's not going to be playing regularly in front of Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe is the guy, he's top scorer for Madrid last year. He had a great season. It's going to be really tough for him to dislodge him. He's also got Vinicius Jr. there, Hendricks coming through, Bellingham. I mean, he may decide to move on, and if he does, Arsenal are waiting to pounce. So this is going to be an interesting one, the Rodrygo one. Xavi Alonso and him are set to sit down and have talks, but it's going to be really interesting to see what does happen with him. And if he does come, then what happens to the left wingers that we've got at Arsenal currently? Martinelli, does he stay at Arsenal? Gimme Sport with a rumour today saying that AC Milan are interested in Gabriel Martinelli should they lose the services of Rafa Leão. Now, Rafa Leão has been heavily linked with a move to Bayern Munich. That could happen this summer. And if he was to leave, they're claiming that AC Milan will turn to Gabriel Martinelli. Now, Arsenal don't want to sell Martinelli. Even if they bring in Rodrygo, they don't want to sell Martinelli. But if the price is right, they may be up for it. Said to be, it would need a bid of around about 50 million plus to tempt Arsenal. Would Arsenal sell Martinelli? Still only 23, also in the Brazil squad. This is going to be an interesting one to see. Mikel Arteta loves Martinelli because not just his work on the ball, it's the work off the ball, the work rate he puts in, but he did have an underwhelming season last year. And would they be willing to cash in on him? Would you want to see Martinelli leave? We're going to do a poll on that today. We've been running polls all this week. Sell Martinelli or keep Martinelli? That's all you have to say in the comments. We'll collate it and we'll let you know the result of that poll. But sell Martinelli or keep Martinelli? I want to know from you guys. Let me know in the comments below. We did that poll yesterday, by the way, about Kepa. Remember Kepa being linked with a move to Arsenal from Chelsea. I said, let us know. Would you take Kepa? Yes or no? 70% of you said yes. Get Kepa as that backup goalkeeper, as that keeper that can challenge David Raya. The rumours are, would only cost £5 million. But 70% of you guys says, go and get him. And I've got to say, I agree with you. For $5 million, it's a no-brainer. But let's see what happens with that one. Football transfers with this one today. They're claiming that Arsenal may be willing to extend the contract of Gabriel Jesus. Now, this is a bit of a surprise. Of course, he's out at the moment with an ACL injury. We're not going to see him until at least December this year, probably the new year. He's currently in rehabilitation. Now, his current contract expires in 2027, and it said that Arsenal may be willing to give him a contract extension. Now, for me, I can only think that the reason for this is probably to protect the value of the player. The rumours that I'd heard around Gabriel Jesus is that Arsenal were looking to sell him this summer. They were definitely going to move him on, but of course he suffered that injury. Now you can't move him on. He's going to be here no matter what, because nobody's going to buy a player who's suffered that ACL. So interesting that Arsenal may be looking to extend his contract. I would have thought that if they are, his current wages of around about £260,000 a week, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? They're going to put him on a much lower fee. But interesting to see that. And also, on the talk of contracts and left wingers, we're talking about all these different left wingers we want to bring in, etc. What's going to happen with Leandro Trossard? We've been hearing that Arsenal have been trying to negotiate a new contract with him. But will they let him go, especially if they brought in a Rodrygo, 30 years old now, Leandro Trossard. His contract's up at the end of the next season. Arsenal negotiating with him. Will they keep him or will they try and see if they can get a fee for him? Valued at around about £20 million now. I like Trossard. Trossard still, in all competitions last year, got 10 goals, 10 assists. Always an effective player that can bring off the bench. But as I said, 30 now. Will they negotiate a new contract with him? I'd say if one of those players are going to leave in that left wing position, it probably would be Trossard. But then I like Trossard. I think for squad depth and options, having a Leandro Trossard on the bench, remember, next season, you know, Champions League again. We saw the format this year with that league system. You know, you've got to have strong teams out for all those games, right? If you're going to finish in that top 8, for me, I'd be looking to keep Leandro Trossard and Martinelli and bring in a Rodrygo or somebody on that left wing as well. So I just feel that Arsenal need more options. So anyway, those are the rumours for today. Don't forget to check out all of our excellent content that we've got coming out right throughout the summer. The Keep Bench Sell series is out there. Make sure you check that out. It's absolutely brilliant. But thanks for watching the show, and we'll be back tomorrow. Hi, we've teamed up with UK Auto Claims to see if you could be eligible to score thousands in compensation. If you've had any cars, vans or motorbikes on finance between 2007 and 2021, go to ukautoclaims.co.uk to start your free simple check. Loads of you will have overpaid and payouts could be worth thousands, so you've got to look into it. Hit up the link below and check now for free.